They say a single moment can change a person's life forever. For Sarah, a mother with nothing left but a hungry baby in her arms, that moment happened in the aisle of a grocery store. When a stranger grabbed her wrist, not to stop her, but to save her. What he did next is something no one saw coming. And it would change both of their lives. Forever. Book Chapter 1, The Moment Everything Broke. The rain fell harder than usual that evening, turning the city sidewalks into rivers. People rushed past each other, umbrellas clashing, shoes splashing, faces hidden in their own worries. But none of them noticed the young woman standing outside the store, soaked from head to toe, clutching a thin blanket close to her chest. Her name was Sarah, just 24 years old, exhausted beyond her years. Under the blanket was her baby, 6-month-old Noah, crying weakly from hunger. Sarah whispered, "Just a little longer, baby, mommy's trying." But her voice cracked. She had been trying for too long. After losing her job at a local bakery due to sudden downsizing, her life unraveled quicker than she could grasp. From there, the rent went unpaid, the landlord stopped being patient, and before she knew it, she and Noah were sleeping in shelters or, on the worst nights, outside. She had asked for help, begged for work, fought with every ounce of energy she had left. But every door slammed shut in her face. Noah's formula ran out 2 days ago, and her body was too malnourished to keep breastfeeding. Desperate was too small a word. So that night, with trembling hands, she stepped into the grocery store, not to shop, but to survive. The fluorescent lights were too bright, the hum of customers loud, carts clattering, workers stocking shelves. Sarah kept her head down. She slowly moved toward the baby care aisle, eyes darting, heart pounding. She picked up a small can of baby formula. It felt heavy, not because of the weight, but because she knew she had no money to pay for it. Her breath shook. "I'm sorry," she whispered to no one. Then she tucked the can under Noah's blanket. She turned toward the exit, heart pounding like a drum inside her chest. But just before she reached the automatic doors, a large, warm hand closed around her wrist. Sarah froze. Her entire body trembled as she braced herself for the worst, shouting, accusations, security, police. She imagined Noah being taken from her, imagined being called a thief, a criminal, a bad mother. Her knees almost buckled. She looked up slowly, and saw a man. Mid-30s. Clean shirt, tired eyes, but kind. His name was Daniel. But she didn't know that yet. He didn't speak loudly. He didn't pull her rough. He just looked at her, and really saw her. "Is the baby hungry?" he asked gently. That one question, soft, simple, broke something inside her. Tears fell down her face before she could stop them. I didn't want to," she choked. "But he hasn't eaten, and I can't do this anymore." Daniel looked from her face to the small baby swaddled in the thin, damp blanket. Noah's cries were faint now, tired from hours of hunger. In that moment, Daniel had a choice. Most people would judge, ignore, call security, walk away. But he felt something stir in him, a memory of his own tough childhood with a single mother who had struggled just like this. He remembered nights when they too had nothing. So instead of calling for help, he said the last thing Sarah expected. "Come with me," Daniel whispered. And he gently released her wrist, not to stop her, but to guide her. Sarah blinked in confusion. Why? Because nobody trying to feed their child deserves to be treated like a criminal. For the first time in months, someone saw her not as a burden, not as a failure, but as a mother. Fighting to survive. He walked her back inside, not to security, but to the register. Then, without hesitation, he bought the formula. A second can, diapers, baby wipes, even a warm blanket. Sarah covered her mouth, sobbing quietly. "You didn't have to." "I did," Daniel interrupted simply. "Because someone once helped my mom when she was in your place." She felt her legs weaken again, but this time not from fear. From relief. It was the first kindness she had received in months. Little did she know, this was only the beginning. Book Chapter 2, The Kindness That Changed Everything. Daniel didn't stop at buying baby supplies. Once outside, he noticed Sarah shivering in the cold rain. "You're soaked," he said. "You shouldn't be out here with a baby." Sarah shook her head. "We don't have anywhere else, the shelters are full." Daniel paused, fighting his own internal hesitation. He wasn't a rich man. He wasn't a superhero. Just a mechanic who worked long hours and lived alone. But something in Sarah's voice, something in the tiny, hungry cry of Noah, wouldn't let him walk away. "Look," he said softly. "I have a small apartment close by. You and the baby can come warm up, dry off. Just for tonight. No pressure." Sarah hesitated. She didn't trust easily anymore. But Noah whimpered, and she had no other choice. "Okay," she whispered. Daniel led them to his old pickup truck. He turned the heat up, buckled Noah safely, and drove carefully through the storm. When they entered his apartment, the warmth almost made Sarah burst into tears again. Daniel handed her a towel, a clean oversized hoodie, and told her to take her time.